Aaron Murray stared in shock as he deciphered the otherworldly glyphs of the Zephyr Codex, the archaic alien text that had baffled the galaxy's greatest minds, realizing that this breakthrough would change everything, for better or worse. The urgent summons from the Galactic Council had torn Aaron away from his xenoarchaeology dig on the desolate moon of Theros. As humanity's most brilliant linguist, he found himself standing before the Council's headquarters on Nexus Prime, the shimmering space station that served as the heart of the galactic community. Uko, the Council's foremost expert on ancient languages, towered over Aaron, his iridescent green skin shimmering under the chamber's artificial light. The alien's grave expression spoke volumes about the gravity of the situation. The Zephyr Codex, an artifact left behind by the long-vanished progenitors, has been discovered on a remote, lifeless world, Uko explained, his voice reverberating through the chamber. We believe it holds the key to understanding their advanced technology and the cryptic warnings they left behind about a great catastrophe. Aaron's heart raced at the prospect of unraveling the secrets of the enigmatic progenitors. "What do you need from me?" he asked, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Uko's eyes narrowed, a flicker of skepticism crossing his alien features. The Codex is written in an unknown script that has defied all attempts at translation, even by our most sophisticated AI. The Council has called upon you, Dr. Murray, as a last resort. But I must admit I find it difficult to believe that a primitive human could succeed where the brightest minds of the galaxy have failed. Aaron bristled at the condescension in Uko's tone, but he refused to let it deter him. The stakes were too high. The fate of the galaxy and humanity's place within it hung in the balance. If the Codex truly held the key to unlocking the progenitors' secrets, then failure was not an option. "I'll do it," Aaron declared, his determination unwavering. "Give me access to the Codex and I'll unravel its mysteries." As the digital scans of the ancient text flickered to life before him, Aaron felt a strange sense of familiarity wash over him. The intricate symbols and patterns seemed to call out to him, as if he had encountered this language before in some half-remembered dream. He knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, both intellectual and political. The galaxy's most brilliant minds would be watching his every move, waiting for him to fail. But Aaron was determined to prove them wrong, to show that humanity had a crucial role to play in the unfolding destiny of the cosmos. With a deep breath, he delved into the enigmatic depths of the Zephyr Codex, ready to face whatever secrets it might reveal. The future of humanity, and perhaps the entire galaxy, rested on his shoulders. As Aaron pored over the enigmatic symbols of the Zephyr Codex, his mind raced with possibilities. The script was unlike anything he had encountered before, yet there was an undeniable familiarity to its structure and form. Drawing upon his extensive knowledge of ancient Earth languages and his experience with xenolinguistics, Aaron began to discern patterns and connections that had eluded the other researchers. He started to piece together a rudimentary understanding of the progenitor script, his excitement growing with each breakthrough. Uko, who had initially been dismissive of Aaron's progress, found himself increasingly intrigued by the human linguist's insights and theories. The alien scholar's skepticism gradually gave way to begrudging respect as Aaron shared his discoveries. The two formed an unlikely partnership, with Uko's extensive knowledge of galactic history complementing Aaron's unorthodox approach. They worked tirelessly, their minds locked in a dance of intellectual collaboration as they sought to unravel the secrets of the Codex. As they delved deeper, they uncovered tantalizing hints of a powerful ancient technology known as the Nexus Key. The fragmentary references suggested that this enigmatic device could potentially unlock the secrets of the progenitors and shed light on their mysterious disappearance. Just as they were on the cusp of a major breakthrough, their progress was suddenly interrupted by the blaring of alarms throughout the Nexus Prime station. The chamber doors burst open, revealing a group of heavily armed Breen mercenaries, led by the ruthless commander Zortak. The mercenaries stormed into the room, their weapons trained on Aaron and Uko. Zortak strode forward, his eyes fixed on the Zephyr Codex. "Hand over the artifact, and no one needs to get hurt," he growled, his voice dripping with menace. Aaron and Uko exchanged a tense glance, realizing that the Codex's secrets were far more valuable and dangerous than they had initially believed. In a split-second decision, Aaron snatched up the Codex and bolted for the door, with Uko close behind. Blaster fire erupted around them as the mercenaries gave chase, the searing energy beams narrowly missing their targets. Aaron and Uko raced through the labyrinthine corridors of Nexus Prime, their hearts pounding in their chests as they sought to evade their pursuers. They ducked and weaved, using their knowledge of the station's layout to their advantage. The mercenaries were hot on their heels, their heavy footsteps echoing through the halls. Aaron clutched the Zephyr Codex tightly to his chest, knowing that its secrets could not fall into the wrong hands. As they rounded a corner, they found themselves face to face with a sealed blast door. Uko quickly punched in an override code, his fingers flying over the keypad. The door hissed open, revealing a small hangar bay beyond. Aaron and Uko sprinted towards a sleek black shuttle, their last hope of escape. They clambered aboard, sealing the hatch behind them, just as the mercenaries burst into the hangar, weapons blazing. Uko took the controls, his hands flying over the console as he initiated the startup sequence. The shuttle's engines roared to life, and they rocketed out of the hangar, narrowly evading the incoming fire. As they broke free of Nexus Prime's artificial gravity well, Aaron slumped back in his seat, his heart racing. He glanced down at the Zephyr Codex, still clutched tightly in his hands. The secrets it held were more precious than ever, and he knew that they would stop at nothing to unravel its mysteries. In the aftermath of the harrowing escape from Nexus Prime, Aaron and Uko found themselves standing before the Galactic Council once more. The chamber buzzed with tension as the council members, representing the diverse species of the galaxy, debated the implications of the Breen's brazen attack and their interest in the Zephyr Codex. Heron stepped forward, the ancient text clutched tightly in his hands. "Esteemed council members," he began, his voice steady and resolute, "our analysis of the Codex has revealed the existence of a powerful progenitor artifact known as the Nexus Key. We believe it could be either a devastating weapon or the key to unlocking the progenitor's advanced technology." Uko nodded, his iridescent skin shimmering under the chamber's lights. "The Breen's actions make it clear that they will stop at nothing to acquire this artifact. We must act swiftly to secure it before it falls into the wrong hands." The council members exchanged grave looks, the weight of the situation settling upon them. After a moment of deliberation, the head councillor, a stern-faced Valterian, spoke. "Dr. Murray Uko, the council recognizes the gravity of this threat. We hereby task you with a secret mission to locate and secure the Nexus Key. You will be provided with a state-of-the-art stealth ship and a hand-picked team of elite operatives to aid you in your quest." Aaron and Uko exchanged a determined glance, the weight of the galaxy's fate resting on their shoulders. They gathered their team, a diverse group of skilled individuals from across the stars, and boarded the sleek, black vessel that would serve as their home and base of operations. As they set out into the uncharted reaches of the galaxy, Aaron pored over the Zephyr Codex, deciphering the cryptic clues that would lead them to the Nexus Key. The journey was perilous, taking them through treacherous asteroid fields and long-forgotten progenitor ruins. At every turn, Aaron's unique human perspective proved invaluable. He noticed patterns and connections that his alien companions overlooked, guiding them through the labyrinthine challenges that stood between them and their goal. But they were not alone in their pursuit. Commander Zortak and his Breen forces dogged their every step, always seeming to be one step behind. The team found themselves engaged in a deadly game of cat and mouse, outwitting Breen patrols and narrowly evading capture. As they delved deeper into the mysteries of the progenitors, Aaron couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the cusp of something momentous. The Nexus Key, whatever its true nature, held the power to reshape the galaxy, for good or for ill. The race was on and the stakes had never been higher. Aaron and his team pressed forward, determined to unravel the secrets of the past and secure the future of the galaxy, no matter the cost. Aaron's heart pounded as he and his team approached the massive asteroid. Their scans had revealed an anomaly within its hollow core, a hidden progenitor outpost. As they docked their ship and entered the airlock, a sense of unease crept over Aaron. The ancient facility was dark and eerily silent, the air thick with the musty scent of age. Uko led the way, his iridescent skin casting a faint glow in the gloom. The team moved cautiously through the abandoned corridors, their footsteps echoing off the metallic walls. Aaron's eyes darted from side to side, searching for any signs of the Nexus key or clues to its location. Suddenly, a piercing alarm shattered the silence. Red lights flashed and heavy blast doors began to slide shut, sealing off the corridors. "It's a trap!" Uko shouted, his voice barely audible over the blaring klaxons. Aaron's mind raced as he scanned the alien control panels. His intuitive understanding of progenitor technology kicked in, and he quickly identified the override sequence. His fingers flew across the glowing symbols, and with a hiss of hydraulics, the doors ground to a halt, leaving a narrow opening. "Move!" Aaron yelled, ushering his team through the gap. As they sprinted down the corridor, Aaron's eyes locked onto a pulsing console. He skidded to a stop, his hands already working to decipher the ancient script. A holographic star map flickered to life, revealing the location of the Nexus key. "I've got it!" Aaron exclaimed, his heart soaring with triumph. But his elation was short-lived as the sound of blaster fire erupted behind them. Commander Zortak and his Breen soldiers poured into the corridor, their weapons spitting deadly energy bolts. Aaron and Uko dove for cover, returning fire as their team scattered. The air was thick with the acrid scent of ozone and the deafening roar of combat. In the chaos, Aaron and Uko were separated from their companions. They raced deeper into the asteroid's labyrinthine tunnels, the Breen hot on their heels. Aaron clutched the star map, determined to protect it at all costs. As they rounded a corner, they stumbled into a chamber unlike any they had seen before. In the center stood a shimmering portal, its surface rippling with an otherworldly energy. A progenitor transport device. "It's our only chance," Uko panted, his face etched with desperation. Aaron hesitated for a split second, the unknown dangers of the device warring with the certainty of capture. But as the sound of the Breen's approaching footsteps grew louder, he made his decision. Together they leaped into the portal, the star map held tightly in Aaron's grasp. A blinding flash of light engulfed them, and the world fell away. When the light faded, Aaron found himself standing on an alien landscape, unlike anything he had ever seen. Towering crystalline structures rose up from the ground, their facets glinting in the soft glow of bioluminescent flora. The air was thick with a sweet, heady scent that made his head spin. Beside him, Uko staggered to his feet, his eyes wide with wonder and fear. "Where are we?" he whispered. Aaron glanced down at the star map, his heart sinking as he saw the damage it had sustained during the transport. The holographic image flickered and distorted, the Nexus key's location fragmented and unclear. "I don't know," Aaron admitted, his voice heavy with the weight of their predicament. "But we're not out of danger yet. We need to find a way to contact the team and figure out where we are." As they set off into the alien wilderness, Aaron couldn't shake the feeling that their journey had taken a turn into the unknown. With the star map damaged and the Breen still on their trail, the path to the Nexus key had never seemed more uncertain. But one thing was clear. They couldn't afford to fail. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and only they could tip the scales in favor of hope and survival. As Aaron and Uko ventured deeper into the alien landscape, the towering crystalline structures that surrounded them began to take on a new significance. The buildings, perfectly preserved despite the passage of time, thrummed with an otherworldly energy that resonated deep within Aaron's bones. "These aren't just buildings," Aaron said, his voice tinged with awe. "They're progenitor structures, and they're still active." Uko's eyes widened as he took in the sight. Incredible. The technology required to maintain these structures for so long must be beyond anything we've ever encountered. Driven by a sense of urgency and a burning curiosity, Aaron approached one of the structures. As he drew near, the crystalline surface shimmered and rippled, responding to his presence. Guided by his instinctive understanding of the progenitor language, Aaron placed his hand on the smooth, cool surface and focused his thoughts. The structure responded, its facets shifting and rearranging to reveal an entrance. Aaron and Uko exchanged a glance before stepping inside, their hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The interior of the structure was a marvel of alien engineering. Holographic displays flickered to life, projecting streams of data and images that danced around them. Aaron's mind raced as he absorbed the information, his xenolinguistic skills allowing him to decipher the ancient progenitor script with increasing ease. "Uko, look at this," Aaron said, his voice trembling with the weight of his discovery. "The Nexus key isn't just a single artifact. It's a series of interconnected devices scattered across the galaxy. Each one holds a piece of the progenitor's ultimate secret." As they delved deeper into the progenitor database, Aaron and Uko lost track of time, their minds consumed by the wealth of knowledge at their fingertips. It was only when a soft chime echoed through the structure that they were jolted back to the present. "Someone's trying to contact us," Uko said, his brow furrowing. "But who could have found us here?" Aaron tapped a series of commands into the holographic interface, and a familiar face materialized before them. Captain Nara Voss, a renowned Galactic Council operative, regarded them with a mixture of relief and concern. "Dr. Murray, Uko, thank the stars we found you," she said, her voice crackling with static. "The Council has been worried sick since you disappeared. We're here to bring you back to Nexus Prime." Aaron and Uko exchanged a look, the weight of their mission heavy on their shoulders. They knew that they couldn't abandon their quest, not when they were so close to unraveling the secrets of the Nexus key. "Captain Voss, we appreciate the Council's concern," Aaron said, choosing his words carefully. "But we can't leave, not yet. We've uncovered vital information about the Nexus key, and we need to see this through." Nara's expression hardened, her eyes narrowing. "The Breen are hot on your trail, and they won't hesitate to eliminate anyone who stands in their way. We need to get you to safety before—" Her words were cut off by a sudden explosion that rocked the structure. Alarms blared, and the holographic display flickered and died. Aaron and Uko rushed to the entrance, their hearts pounding as they took in the sight before them. Commander Zortak and his Breen forces had found them, their ships descending from the sky like predatory birds. Energy blasts rained down upon the alien landscape, scorching the crystalline structures and sending shards of debris flying in all directions. "They must have tracked us through the damaged star map," Uko growled, his fists clenching at his sides. Aaron's mind raced as he assessed the situation. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they couldn't let the Breen claim the Nexus key component. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. "We need to get to the component before they do," Aaron said, his voice steady despite the chaos erupting around them. "Captain Voss, can you provide cover fire?" As the rescue team engaged the Breen forces, drawing their fire away from the structure, Aaron and Uko raced towards the location of the Nexus key component. The ground shook beneath their feet, and the air was thick with the acrid scent of smoke and burning metal. They reached the site just as a group of Breen soldiers converged on their position. Aaron and Uko dove for cover, blaster fire sizzling past their heads. They returned fire, their weapons spitting deadly energy bolts at the advancing enemy. The battle was fierce and unrelenting, with both sides fighting tooth and nail for control of the Nexus key component. Aaron and Uko fought alongside the rescue team, their skills and determination put to the ultimate test. As the smoke cleared and the dust settled, Aaron emerged from cover, the Nexus key component clutched tightly in his hand. The Breen forces lay scattered and defeated, their weapons strewn across the alien landscape. But even as they savored their hard-won victory, Aaron knew that this was only the beginning. The Breen would not rest until they had claimed the Nexus key for themselves. and the path ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty. With the first component secured and the rescue team by their side, Aaron and Uko prepared to embark on the next leg of their journey. The secrets of the progenitors beckoned, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Amidst the chaos of the battle, Aaron lunged for the Nexus key component, his fingers closing around the small crystalline device. It pulsed with an eerie blue light, its energy thrumming through his body. "I've got it," he shouted to Uko as he tucked the component securely into his pocket. Uko fired his blaster at an advancing Breen soldier. "We need to get out of here now." As they turned to flee, a towering figure emerged from the smoke and debris. Commander Zortak, his eyes blazing with fury, leveled his plasma weapon at them. "Hand over the component, human," Zortak growled, "or I'll reduce this entire complex to ashes." Aaron's mind raced, his gaze darting to the ancient progenitor glyphs etched into the walls. In a flash of insight, he understood their meaning. "Uko, cover me!" Aaron yelled as he sprinted towards a nearby control panel. Uko laid down, suppressing fire, his blaster bolts forcing Zortak to take cover. Aaron's fingers flew across the alien interface, inputting the sequence he had gleaned from the glyphs. Suddenly a shimmering force field erupted from the complex's walls, engulfing the Breen forces. They cried out in surprise and pain as the energy field immobilized them, their weapons clattering to the ground. "Now's our chance," Aaron shouted, gesturing frantically to Uko and the rescue team. They raced through the complex's winding corridors, the sound of the Breen's frustrated shouts echoing behind them. As they burst into the open air, they saw their ships waiting, engines primed for takeoff. Aaron and Uko leaped aboard, the rescue team close behind. The ships roared to life, lifting off and streaking towards the stars, just as the force field began to flicker and fade. From the viewport, Aaron watched as the alien world receded into the distance, the Breen ships already beginning to give chase. "That was too close," he muttered, his heart pounding in his chest. Uko nodded, his expression grim. "We may have the first component, but the Breen won't rest until they have it. We need to be careful." As they emerged from hyperspace near Nexus Prime, Aaron and Uko were greeted by a flurry of activity. The Galactic Council had convened an emergency session, and the news of their discovery had sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. "The progenitor's technology is far beyond anything we've ever encountered," Aaron explained, his voice filled with awe and trepidation. "If the Breen were to acquire the Nexus key, the consequences would be catastrophic." The council members exchanged grave looks, the weight of the situation settling heavily upon them. "Dr. Murray, Uko," the head counselor said, her voice firm, "you have done the galaxy a great service, but your mission is far from over. We need you to assemble a team of the brightest minds and bravest souls from across the stars. Together, you must find the remaining components before the Breen can claim them." Aaron and Uko nodded, their expressions determined. They knew the dangers that lay ahead, but they also understood the importance of their mission. As they left the council chambers, Aaron's mind was already racing with the possibilities. He glanced down at the star map, the coordinates of the next component glowing faintly on the display. Uko chuckled, his eyes glinting with anticipation. When have we ever shied away from a challenge? Together they set out to gather their team, unaware that the Breen had already begun to decipher the secrets of the star map. In the shadows, Commander Zortak plotted his next move, his desire for the Nexus key's power consuming his every thought. The race was on, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Aaron and his team would need all their skill, courage, and determination to stay one step ahead of the Breen and unravel the mysteries of the progenitors before it was too late. As Aaron assembled his expanded team aboard the sleek, state-of-the-art vessel provided by the Galactic Council, he couldn't help but marvel at the diverse array of expertise that surrounded him. Lyra Zen, a brilliant Zephyrian engineer with an uncanny knack for deciphering progenitor technology, pored over the star map, her bioluminescent eyes flickering with excitement. Zack Ryder, a gruff Corvan xenobiologist, studied the holographic projections of the ancient ruins they were about to explore, his scarred face etched with concentration. As the ship dropped out of hyperspace and entered the atmosphere of the desolate, wind-swept planet, Aaron felt a sense of unease wash over him. The star map had led them to this barren world, but something about the eerie stillness that greeted them set his nerves on edge. "I don't like this," Zack muttered, his gravelly voice cutting through the tense silence. "It's too quiet." Aaron nodded, his eyes scanning the rugged terrain below. The planet's surface was a maze of jagged canyons and towering spires, the remnants of a long-forgotten civilization. "Stay sharp," he said, his hand resting on the butt of his plasma pistol. "We don't know what we're walking into." As the ship touched down on a rocky outcropping near the entrance to a massive progenitor temple, Aaron and his team disembarked, their weapons at the ready. The wind whipped around them, carrying with it the distant howls of alien predators. "The Nexus key component is inside the temple," Lyra said, consulting the star map. "But these readings suggest that the structure is filled with traps and defenses designed to keep intruders out." Aaron's mouth set in a grim line. "Then we'll have to tread carefully. Zack, take point. Lyra, keep an eye on those readings. Dax, watch our backs." The Corvan historian, Dax Thorne, nodded, his dark eyes glinting in the harsh sunlight. He fell in step behind the group as they made their way towards the temple entrance, his hand resting on the hilt of his plasma sword. As they navigated the treacherous canyons, solving ancient puzzles and bypassing long-dormant security systems, Aaron couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. His instincts, honed by years of xenoarchaeological expeditions, screamed at him that danger lurked around every corner. Suddenly, a swarm of combat drones descended upon them, their metallic bodies glinting in the sun. The Breen had found them. Aaron and his team dove for cover, plasma bolts sizzling through the air around them. Aaron rolled behind a boulder, his heart pounding in his chest. He caught a glimpse of Commander Zortak standing atop a nearby cliff, his eyes blazing with triumph. The Breen leader had anticipated their every move. As the battle raged around them, Aaron and his team fought their way towards the temple entrance, desperate to reach the Nexus key component before the Breen could claim it. But the drones were relentless, their numbers seemingly endless. In the chaos of the firefight, Aaron found himself separated from the others, trapped inside the temple with only Lyra at his side. The ancient structure shuddered under the onslaught of plasma fire, dust raining down from the ceiling. "We need to find the component and get out of here," Lyra said, her voice strained with urgency. Aaron nodded, his mind racing. He scanned the walls of the temple, searching for any clue that might lead them to their goal. Suddenly, his eyes locked onto a series of glyphs etched into the stone, their meaning becoming clear in his mind. "There!" he said, pointing to a small alcove set into the far wall. "The component is hidden there." Together they raced towards the alcove, dodging the rubble that rained down around them. But as they reached for the component, a figure emerged from the shadows, a plasma sword blazing in his hand. Dax Thorne, his face twisted with hatred, lunged at Aaron, his blade slicing through the air. "The Nexus key belongs to the Breen," he snarled, his eyes glinting with madness. Aaron barely managed to dodge the blow, his own plasma pistol leaping into his hand. He fired, the bolt of energy slamming into Dax's chest and sending him sprawling to the ground. But it was too late. As Dax fell, his hand closed around the Nexus key component, his fingers tightening around the ancient device. With a final, triumphant smile, he activated a hidden teleporter, vanishing in a flash of blinding light. Aaron and Lyra stood in stunned silence, the weight of Dax's betrayal crashing down upon them. They had secured the second component, but at what cost? The Breen now held the first piece of the Nexus key, and their advantage had grown. As they emerged from the temple, battered and bloodied, Aaron's resolve hardened into a cold, unyielding determination. He would stop the Breen, no matter the cost. The fate of the galaxy depended on it. As the weight of Dax Thorne's betrayal hung heavy in the air, Aaron and his team huddled around the flickering holographic display of the star map. The fragmented coordinates danced before them, the final piece of the puzzle maddeningly out of reach. The last Nexus key component, Lyra breathed, her eyes wide. It's on a space station orbiting a dying star. Uko leaned in, his brow furrowed. The progenitors always did have a flair for the dramatic, but if the Breen get their hands on it... Aaron's jaw tightened. We can't let that happen, we have to get there first. As they raced towards the coordinates, the blackness of space suddenly erupted with the blinding light of a Galactic Council warship dropping out of hyperspace directly in their path. The massive vessel dwarfed their own, its sleek lines bristling with weaponry. "Attention, Dr. Murray and crew," a stern voice crackled over the comms. "This is Admiral Zara Roth of the Galactic Council. Stand down and prepare to be boarded." Aaron's heart sank as a shuttle emerged from the warship's hangar bay, its course set for their own vessel. As the airlock hissed open, Admiral Roth strode aboard, her sharp features etched with disapproval. "Dr. Murray," she said, her tone clipped, "the Council has declared the Nexus key too dangerous to fall into any one faction's hands. You are hereby ordered to surrender the remaining component and abort your mission." Aaron stood his ground, his eyes meeting Roth's unflinchingly. "Admiral, with all due respect, we can't do that. The Breen are closing in as we speak. If they acquire the complete Nexus key, the consequences would be catastrophic." Roth's gaze narrowed. "You would defy a direct order from the Council?" "I'm trying to save the galaxy," Aaron said, his voice steady. "The Breen pose a far greater threat than you realize. Please, Admiral, allow us to continue the mission. We're the only ones who can stop them." Roth studied him for a long moment, her expression unreadable. Finally, she let out a heavy sigh. "Very well, Dr. Murray, but I'm coming with you. The Council will provide a small fleet to aid in the confrontation." As they approached the space station, the twisted wreckage of Breen ships littered the void, a testament to the fierce battle that had already begun. Aaron's heart raced as he spotted Commander Zortak's flagship, its hull scarred and battered, but still very much operational. "They're already here," Uko growled, his hands flying over the weapons console. They boarded the station, the echoes of distant blaster fire ringing through the corridors. Aaron and his team moved swiftly, their weapons at the ready, as they navigated the labyrinthine passages in search of the final component. Suddenly, a group of Breen soldiers led by Dax Thorne emerged from a side passage, their blasters spitting deadly energy bolts. Aaron and Uko dove for cover, returning fire as the rest of the team engaged the enemy. In the chaos of the firefight, Aaron caught a glimpse of Zortak's hulking form disappearing down a corridor. He locked eyes with Uko, a silent understanding passing between them. "We have to end this," Aaron said, his voice low, "once and for all." Together, they broke away from the main battle, pursuing Zortak and Thorne deeper into the station. The Breen leaders were fast, but Aaron and Uko were faster, their years of training and experience guiding their every move. They cornered their adversaries in a cavernous chamber, its walls lined with pulsing progenitor technology. Zortak and Thorne whirled to face them, their weapons raised. "It's over, Zortak," Aaron said, his blaster aimed squarely at the Breen commander's chest. "Surrender the Nexus key." Zortak's laughter echoed through the chamber. "You're too late, human. The key is mine, and with it the power to reshape the galaxy." Aaron's eyes darted to a shimmering portal set into the far wall, realization dawning. It was a progenitor simulation chamber, capable of trapping its occupants in a virtual reality construct. "Uko, now!" Aaron yelled, firing his blaster at the portal's control panel. The energy beam struck home, and the portal flared to life, its swirling vortex pulling at Zortak and Thorne. The Breen leaders struggled against the inexorable pull, their screams of rage and frustration swallowed by the whirling maelstrom. With a final blinding flash, the portal winked out of existence, taking Zortak and Thorne with it. Aaron and Uko stood panting in the sudden silence, the weight of their victory slowly sinking in. "The simulation chamber will hold them," Uko said, his voice tinged with exhaustion. "But not forever. We need to find that final component." Aaron nodded, his determination renewed. "Then let's finish this." Aaron and his team raced down the winding corridors, their footsteps echoing off the ancient metal walls. The space station's core loomed before them, an imposing labyrinth of progenitor technology. As they approached the entrance, a series of glowing symbols flickered to life, barring their path. "Lyra, can you make sense of this?" Aaron asked, his brow furrowed as he studied the intricate patterns. The Zephyrian engineer stepped forward, her eyes narrowing as she scanned the alien script. "It's a puzzle," she said, her fingers already dancing across the holographic interface. "A test of sorts, designed to gauge the worthiness of those seeking the final component." Uko leaned in, his vast knowledge of progenitor history coming to the fore. "The progenitors were known for their love of riddles and challenges," he mused. "Each symbol represents a key moment in their civilization's rise and fall. We must arrange them in the correct order to proceed." Time ticked away as the team worked feverishly to solve the puzzle, their minds racing to decipher the cryptic clues. Lyra's expertise proved invaluable, her keen intellect and quick thinking guiding their efforts. With a final, triumphant flourish, she input the last symbol, and the door hissed open, revealing the chamber beyond. But their elation was short-lived. As they stepped into the room, they found themselves face to face with Commander Zortak and Dax Thorn, their weapons trained on the team. "I should have known you'd find a way out of that simulation," Aaron growled, his hand inching towards his blaster. Thorn raised his hands, his expression pained. "Wait," he pleaded. "You don't understand. The Nexus key, it's too dangerous. The progenitor's technology in the wrong hands could spell disaster for the entire galaxy." Zortak sneered. "Spare us your moralizing, traitor. The key will be ours, and with it the power to bend the galaxy to our will." As the standoff intensified, Aaron's mind raced, searching for a solution. His eyes fell upon the ancient progenitor script etched into the chamber's walls, and a sudden realization dawned upon him. The language, so long lost to the ages, held the key to unlocking the true nature of the Nexus key. Focusing his thoughts, Aaron reached out to the station's central AI, his mind forming the intricate patterns and symbols of the progenitor tongue. For a moment, there was only silence. Then, a soft, ethereal voice filled the chamber. "Greetings, child of Earth," the AI intoned. "Long have we waited for one who could understand our words and our purpose." As the AI spoke, the pieces fell into place. The Nexus key, far from a weapon of destruction, was a failsafe, a last resort designed to protect the galaxy from the very catastrophe that had claimed the progenitors themselves. Aaron turned to his team, his eyes blazing with newfound understanding. "We have a choice to make," he said, his voice steady. "Do we trust in the wisdom of the progenitors, in the purpose they entrusted to us? Or do we let fear and doubt guide our actions, and destroy the very thing that could save us all?" Aaron's voice cut through the tense silence. "We have to trust in the progenitors. The Nexus key is our only hope to save the galaxy." Thorn and Zortak exchanged a long, hard look. The weight of the decision hung heavy in the air. Finally, Zortak spoke. "The human is right. This catastrophe threatens us all. We must work together." Thorn nodded grimly. "Agreed. Let's assemble the final component and end this." As they slotted the last piece into place, the station shuddered violently. A deep, ominous countdown echoed through the halls, ancient numbers ticking down to 0. "The failsafe," Lyra shouted over the noise. "The station is going to self-destruct." They sprinted through the crumbling corridors, the floor buckling beneath their feet. Debris rained down around them as they dodged and weaved, fighting their way back to the hangar. Progenitor security drones, haywire from the imminent destruction, attacked with deadly precision. Blaster fire filled the air as Aaron and the others fought them off, desperately trying to reach their ships. With mere seconds to spare, they leaped aboard their vessels. The hangar doors blew outwards, the vacuum of space tugging at them as they punched the thrusters. The station exploded in a blinding flash just as they cleared the blast radius. The shockwave slammed into their ships, alarms blaring as systems overloaded and failed. And then silence. They drifted among the debris field, their ships dead in space. Aaron clutched the Nexus key, his heart pounding. He activated the ancient device, pouring all his hope into the distress signal it sent out. "Now we wait," he said softly, his voice weary, "and pray the Galactic Council finds us in time." Zortak pounded a fist against a bulkhead, his growl echoing through the ship. "We should never have trusted the human. We're going to die out here." "Don't give up hope," Aaron said, mustering what confidence he could. "We did the right thing." Just as despair threatened to overwhelm them, a massive shadow fell across their ships. A progenitor vessel, vast and ancient, loomed before them. The ship's AI spoke to them, its voice resonating through their minds. "The cosmic catastrophe is upon us. The Nexus Key is the galaxy's only hope, but wielding it comes at a great cost." Aaron closed his eyes, the weight of the choice bearing down on him. To save the galaxy but sacrifice themselves in the process, or to try and find another way and risk billions of lives. He looked to his team, saw the same heavy knowledge in their eyes, the same grim resolve. They had known from the moment they assembled the key what it might ask of them. "We finished the mission," Aaron said, his voice steady. "We saved the galaxy, no matter the cost." One by one they nodded, a silent pledge, a final act of courage and sacrifice. As the progenitor ship bore them onwards, into the very heart of the cataclysm, Aaron thought back on all that had led them here, the ancient language that had chosen him, the journey that had tested them all. In the end, it had been worth it. They would give their lives so that countless others might live, so that the progenitor's wisdom, the only light in this darkness, might see the galaxy through to a new dawn. Aaron gripped the Nexus Key tightly, feeling its ancient power thrum through him. Around him, his team stood united, bound together by the unbreakable ties of camaraderie and sacrifice. They would face the end as they had faced every challenge before it. Together. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.